Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Ecotech. On today's episode of Ecotech, we're going to talk about artificial intelligence, its current place in our world today, and some pros and cons of this interesting technology. But before we dive into the bulk of it, what is artificial intelligence anyway, and how does it work? According to Lexico.com, artificial intelligence is the theory and development of a computer system's ability to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence, such as visual perception, speech recognition, and decision making. And so a simple explanation of how it works is that many different technologies working together enable machines to sense, comprehend, act, and learn. Now that we know just a little bit about what artificial intelligence actually is and somewhat about how it works, what place does artificial intelligence hold in our current world today? And how is it used? So currently, AI is used more of as an assistant tool and not so much as a major decision-making mechanism. But in some sectors of tech, this is actually starting to change. So although much of this is still in its early stages, many of our new advances in technology actually rely on the machine to make decisions at important moments. One really good example of this would be the collision avoidance system, or CAS for short, which is slowly becoming a standard feature in most new cars. This system is designed to prevent or reduce the severity of a collision by alerting the driver via sound of a possible collision. And sometimes, if the system is actually equipped with the automatic emergency brake system, the brake will actually engage and it will completely stop the car. So that's just one example of how artificial intelligence is actually used in our daily life, and most people actually don't really think about that too much. Which brings me to my next question. What are some things artificial intelligence is used for? Besides the vehicle alert system I just mentioned, you can find AI working in the background of many apps and software programs like real-time language translation software, search engines, and even digital assistants. Currently, AI is capable of performing many more complex tasks, like completely assembling or even moving products around. Now let's explore a different question. Why is it important to be aware of AI? And I think that this one is actually a really important one because it's being developed every day at such a rapid pace, and different systems are being implemented and many people aren't really realizing it. We can appreciate the really cool features, but many times we don't even know how these things even come about, and sometimes people don't even really take the time to look into how the technology came to be. So let's go into a little bit of why it's important to be aware of AI. So it's important to be aware of artificial intelligence, not just so you can understand what's behind some of the newest innovations. It's also important so as to understand the changes that will come about as we further develop AI, because the future of AI is sure to affect nearly all human life on the planet Earth. As the development of AI evolves, new things will emerge, things that maybe right now are just an idea. Now let's get into some of the pros and the cons of artificial intelligence. And I'm going to start with the cons because when you hear things about artificial intelligence, many times you hear about all the benefits that it will bring. And it will bring some amazing things. But the reality is that whenever we solve a problem, we usually end up with a different one in a different form. So starting out with the cons, the one that I have highest on the list would be job loss. And of course, this is no surprise. One of the major changes will occur in the job market. According to a 2019 article on AmericanActionForum.org, this job loss could be anywhere from 9 to 47%. And while there are many variables that will affect the actual percentage of job loss, it's no secret that we currently have machines that can do many of the basic functions of low-level work. According to an article from Leftronic.com, 1.7 million jobs have already been lost to automation since the year 2000, and a projected 375 million more are expected to be lost by 2030. Among those jobs to be affected, according to Forbes, are customer service jobs, banking service jobs, fast food service jobs, delivery service jobs. And while this is considered low-level or fairly easy work, mid-level or slightly more complex work will also be affected, like data collection, and data processing. While the reasoning behind getting rid of so many jobs with automation is fairly positive, many workers who don't have many skills might see this as a negative thing. Another con, according to Veneta.org, AI is expensive, and this might make it difficult for smaller businesses operating on tighter budgets to compete. Okay, and so my last con, also sourced from Veneta, artificial intelligence is not always accurate, or moreover, it doesn't always produce optimal outcomes. Currently, AI doesn't understand intent or the context of what is meant. And so instead of reducing communication problems, this could potentially cause more. Between job loss and the inaccuracies of artificial intelligence, there are some really big problems that have to be solved before this is something that we can see as like big scale. But of course, I am not a Debbie Downer. I am someone who definitely looks forward to the development and further implementation of artificial intelligence. I think it is one of the coolest things to ever be created. And so that brings me into the pros. And one of the really, really cool things that AI will definitely bring with it is new and interesting jobs. AI can handle many of the boring, repetitive tasks humans just don't want to do. AI can do a task continuously as long as there's power flowing to it. AI programmed correctly makes fewer errors than humans at certain tasks. AI will also help us explore and ultimately extend the human experience. Currently, artificial intelligence is an extension of human capabilities, not a replacement. And while there are many positive things to come from this new technology, there are some noteworthy cons, like the job loss and the current inaccuracies. So what can you do about the things that might be more likely to affect you at a level that you can see and understand, like job loss? What are some things that can be done to prepare or counteract the effects? As it pertains to job loss, one of the things that you can do is you can gain new skills. Many of the jobs that are being wiped out due to automation, they don't really require very many skills. And so if you were to, let's say, retrain yourself or gain some additional skills that are one, in demand, two, they aren't so easily replicated by a machine, then you are most certainly putting yourself at a valued level. And you really won't find yourself without work. And of course, this is something that is projected to happen down the line in the future, but it's important to be aware of these things because it doesn't mean that you won't start to see the changes happening now. And one other thing that I have that you can do is you can create something unique with your current skill set. So let's say you don't really want to retrain or you don't really want to gain any new skills because you feel that you've already done a fair amount of studying and training and learning. Take what you currently know and try to develop something unique with that. There are many people on YouTube, there are many people that are podcasting, there are many people doing all sorts of things that are extremely unique with abilities that they already have. For example, there are YouTubers that are also real estate investors. A lot of their channel focuses on giving people different advice that they follow themselves. So they're taking a skill set that they already have and they're creating something that is unique. In many cases, you have to hire someone in order to get some of this information. And so this is how they capitalize on the skills that they already have. And this is how you can do that as well. So with that said, AI is a big deal. So much so that despite tension between the US and China, according to the AI Index and Center for Security and Emerging Technology 2021, these two countries do more cross-country collaborations in AI publications than any other cross-country collaborators. So AI is already playing a really big part in our daily lives, and it will continue to do so for the foreseeable future. So I hope you guys were actually able to take something away from that. I hope you were able to learn a little bit more about artificial intelligence and where it's hidden, and maybe some things that you could possibly do to counteract its effects. That's been another episode of Ecotech, and I'll see you guys in the next one.